Hey, Skycap here. Got a few minutes, so I'm going to go over some of the HE boards I've been using recently, do a little comparison physically, also look at the switches, the keycaps, just some more features of the ROG board. So here I have the Apex Pro Mini, I have the ROG Falchion Ace HFX, and I have the DrunkDeer G75. So you can see, like as a size comparison, what that looks like. You get the smallest, obviously, is the Apex. Literally just a row of keys, because this is 60, this is 65% on the ROG board. Just that much bigger. And then, really not much bigger than that, is the G75. So it's a lot bigger than the Apex, but really the ROG fits nicely in between. So depending on what size board you might be looking for, that's a nice little something to know. Looking at kind of the build quality, the switches, the keycaps, that kind of thing, I referenced in a post that the ROG board was the most stable. There's less key wobble and all that kind of thing. So we can take a look and see why. It boils down to a few things. So you can see the switch construction here is just like a typical on the Apex Pro Mini. It's not a lot of extra housing around the stem of the switch. I'll go next to the G75 and you'll see why. So this one has a little bit stronger switch here. It's got a better housing. It's just a lot more solid and more stable. And then last, the ROG board kind of takes that to the next level, and this is like by far the sturdiest. So when it comes to the keycaps and the keys and those kinds of things, there's like no wobble here. You know, there's like these barely move, and that feels really nice. When you look at the SteelSeries, the Apex Pro Mini, I mean, these are like loose teeth in comparison, right? Like you can see how much the keys kind of like wobble and shake on top of those switches. I mean, the scheme of things, that may not make a difference to you, but for me, having that added stability on the ROG board where these just like don't move, they don't make a sound, it's just very nice. It's a very nice feel when you're playing, when you're typing. It just feels a lot more premium and sturdy, at least in my opinion. We have the G75. It's kind of in between the two. So there's some, and forgive me because this is whiteboard versus these being black, so it might be a little easier to see on this, but there's some wobble here, but not too much to speak of. I mean, these switches and these keycaps feel really nice. So, you know, between these two, ROG still feels better, but no complaints here for a board that this was like 110, right? I got this for 200, and I got this, the Apex Pro Mini, for 145 last week, and it's 115 on Amazon today. So I guess that sucks to suck that I'm out 30 bucks there, but whatever. I do want to look at the keycaps as well. All right, all the sites say that these are PBT. Okay, the ASUS and the Apex, they say double shot PBT. I didn't see it specified on the DrunkDeer site, but the keycap quality honestly is nicest on the DrunkDeer. I think the way these keycaps are constructed is super solid and just has a really nice feel on the white switch that's in it. This is the Apex key, and these are really thin. Like, I know it said double shot PBT. It really doesn't feel like it. Like these are very thin and kind of lends itself, you know, as well with switch construction to why this is like, you know, Tooth Fairy's gonna come and take my switches away here. And then in between you have the ROG switch, which or keycap, sorry, which these are nicely constructed. But I really lend the sturdiness of the key feeling to the switch and its housing. Like, those are just fantastic. Last thing I want to take a look at between these boards is the super high profile of the Apex board. Like, you can see, just the case alone is almost the entire height of the ROG board, and as well with the G75. I have all of these down. I don't have the feet up on any of these, and if I were to put the feet up on the Apex board, I'd need a wrist rest pad because that would just destroy the angle of my hand there. I do use the feet on the ROG board, so I'll put that on real quick. Doesn't make a ton of difference. I'm using the large feet. I just like the angle a little bit better, but it doesn't really change the overall height. But it's a really nice height for my arm and my wrist. I don't need a rest for it. So really good construction there as well. So just some things I wanted to go over. Last, I didn't highlight this in the post that I did yesterday, but the ROG board also comes with like a little, I don't know if you call it a case or a tray, whatever, but you can actually just put the keyboard in that if you want. It's not something that I use personally, but depending on your setup, you may find it valuable. But either way, I mean, I'm really happy so far with what I got here in terms of build quality and construction. So just figured I'd take a little in-depth look at that. I know the Apex is one of the most popular boards right now. Solid performer. I have no qualms with anything in terms of actuation. It's last win or SOCD mode, whatever you want to call it. That is perfectly fine on that board. Works great on the DrunkDeer as well too. You probably saw me mention in the thread yesterday that right now it looks like that feature is locked to the A and D keys on this board. Hopefully, like, software or firmware update will allow mapping for that, because based ESDF gang over here representing, it would be nice to be able to have it on those keys. But that's it for today. I see it's like 7 minutes, so if you made it through this, thank you. But if you have any other questions, anything you want me to take a look at between these boards, let me know, and I'll be showing off some more soon. Thanks. Have a good one.